What's up, guys? Welcome to Getting Fish. Today I'm going to be going over the top 5 baits of 2020. These are all baits I've used throughout the year, and I've caught probably the most fish on these baits, and that's why they're in my top 5. So, without ado, here we go. So, first of all, you can't leave out our very own stick worms. We got those Getting Fish stick worms. That's actually a custom color I have for an order. I'll be going out this week. It's like a watermelon, bunch of flakes. They're really great. I did a lot of good work with these like later in the summer. The fish get pressured. They've been beat on for most of the year. And my custom colors come in handy. And caught a bunch of fish on these later in the summer. So that was definitely choice number one. You can't beat a stickworm. I mean, fish will eat a stickworm. It's like a go-to bait for me, at least. You know, cast that up shallow, around some grass, around some cover, docks, whatever. Great to skip under docks. And you'll definitely catch a boatload of fish on those stick worms. All right. Here is my next most productive bait this year. Early spring, even a couple times throughout the summer, I was throwing just a little tube. This is a green pumpkin 3-inch tube on a little tube jig head. Especially in that early spring phase, dead stick that thing. Fish came out for this one, and when I couldn't get them to eat anything else. You know, when it's still March and it's windy and I'm all bundled up, I throw this and kind of dead stick it, don't move it too much. And those fish in that cold water, they wanted that tube. So that's my next choice for my next top bait. So another choice that comes to mind when talking about cold water, except this one really excelled a lot for me during the summer. I caught some big tournament fish on that. I'm sure I'm showing you some of those pictures right now. But this is actually a Dropshot worm. It's called the Zoom Z drop worm. It's been one of my favorite Dropshot baits for years, and I used a lot this year. It killed it for me this year. It was in green pumpkin. You can't beat that worm. That's one of my favorite Dropshot worms, and yeah, it was a killer this year. Dropshot's probably one of my go-to techniques, along with like Senkos and jigs. Those are probably my top 3. But Dropshot just killed it for me. Deep, shallow, basically anywhere they were eating the Z drop worm all year round too. Early spring, early spring dead sticking it to middle of the summer and hopping it on some rock piles. It was killing it for me this year. Next is a bait that I don't throw too much. At least I didn't throw too much until this year, and that is a hollow body frog. And this is actually River to Sea Bullywah, and it's in the 55 size. That was a great frog for me. I caught a 4-pounder on it this year. I think that was my second biggest fish I caught this year. The biggest fish I caught was actually on that Z drop. But that frog right there killed it for me. I freaking love this thing. I caught that fish on it, and then I caught a bunch of other ones throughout the summer, smaller ones. But yeah, it's a great frog. Really haven't thrown a hollow belly frog much before this year. This year I really got into it more, and I'm really liking this frog so far. So there we go, and we'll be moving into the last choice and probably my number 1 choice next. So next we have one you've been waiting for, my top choice of 2020, my top bait. And the reason why I chose this bait is because it gets bigger bites, and it was hard choosing just one of these. So I'm just going to leave the category, this bait category general, and that is a jig, flipping pitch and jig. I've caught so many good fish on this year. The thing about the jig is it just gets bigger bites than any other bait that's out there. I caught lots of 2s and 3s this year on this bait. It just seemed to kill for me. There were days where I couldn't get on anything else, but I threw the jig, and they wanted the jig. And so this is just a 1/2 ounce Dirty Jigs pitch and jig in like a green pumpkin color, and I have a Sweet Beaver trailer on there. Great combo. Here, let me get a better video of that. Yeah, right there. Nice little Dirty Jigs pitch and jig. So yeah, that is my number 1 choice. So yeah, I think that just about wraps this up. Those are my top 5 baits of 2020. Hope you enjoyed this video. Check out my other videos. Thanks for watching. You know the deal. I'll see you later.